It's that time of year. The air's cold.
Oh, sorry, that was my bad. I don't even know how I just did that. Anyways, welcome to the Roundtable Ranking Show. I know you're surprised to see me here instead of Thomas, but I decided to play devil's advocate and step in. So, welcome everybody to our Roundtable Show. We've got Week 8 to talk about, and I've got some exciting guests here. Of course, me and Joe, we have to be on every show together. Doesn't need an introduction, CEO of Team NBS Media. And then we've got Darrell Owens, who is a digital creator and photographer and the founder of Legacy Maker Sports Network. Welcome, Darrell. And Mike Patton is also a writer, content creator, hosts a show called Touring the AFC South, and writes for The Sporting News. So welcome, both of you, and thanks for joining us.
It's an honor.
What up, what up, what up?
Sorry, Joe.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it said, be right back. And then I was on the screen.
You're good.
That's the devil's work, working hard. All right. In case you're new to the show, everybody, we're going to start with the first two guests' top 10. So I'm going to show their top 10s. They're going to break down why they put each team where they are. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to release my top 10 alongside Joe's. And what is the bottom half of the league looking like in our eyes? I will pick the best of everyone's bottom 5, and they're going to explain why these teams are the worst. So let's first start with Mike. Please break down your top 10.
I wonder if Darrell is ready for this.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I see what you did there.
Oh my. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. My eyes didn't go down far enough.
Yeah, I know. Plenty weren't ready, but of course, I do watch the AFC South with a keen eye and have seen the Colts up close and personal. So I definitely had to put the Colts at number 1. Just they're pretty much unstoppable, that offense, the way they're playing right now. The Lions definitely rebounded from the first week, got to where they are now, and they're still doing their thing. Whatever uniform they're wearing, I do love the black uniforms, by the way. Yes. So, the Rams, definitely quietly behind the scenes type of team. That's the team I see them as. I see them as behind the scenes type of team because nobody's talking about them as potentially the top team in the NFL. The Eagles still getting it done, but kind of show up in glimpses and things like that. It's kind of like the brand new car that looks really good, but it's still got some issues to work out, and you're still trying to figure everything out. That's kind of what the Eagles remind me of right now. The Chiefs definitely surging, and I definitely got to say, Patrick Mahomes, thank you from my fantasy team to you. As far as the Buccaneers, they're the fighting. I can't say that they're the fighting. Anyway, they're basically. They're fighting Baker Mayfields. I'm going to say it. They're the fighting Baker Mayfields because Baker is just he's throwing to me, you, and your mama, and your daddy, and your cousin too. That's who he's throwing to, and he's just making it happen. Patriots. I mean, honestly, I like the Patriots. They're playing well, but who have they beat? Who have they really beat? That's why I put them at 7. The Bills. I still can't get over that. They can't stop the run consistently, and Ed Oliver is going to be out for a while. So that I put them at 8. You got the Broncos, which, they're having unbelievable success in quarters, but they're just not consistent. And they kind of like, I don't know what to say about them. And the Packers, I'm sorry, but y'all lost to the Browns. Y'all lost to the Browns and only scored like 10 points. That just, no, I can't do that. And then you tie with the Cowboys and let them score 40 plus points. I know the Cowboys offense is potent, but you're supposed to be the Packers defense. You have a pass rusher of Gary, and you have your boy Micah on the other side. Come on now. So even though the Packers have only lost 1 game, that tie should count for a loss, and that Browns loss should count for maybe 1 or 2 in the timeline. So that's why I have my top 10 the way it is.
Yeah, ties are not for real. I think that they should not exist.
Yeah, they got to get rid of that.
Yeah,
they got to get rid of ties.
2025, we got to do something better than that.
Ties are only for fancy occasions. That's why I put them as.
There you go.
We'll put that on a shirt for the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. All right. What is everybody's thoughts here, Joe? What do you think about this?
I think the Rams are really high. I mean, they're playing good football this season. They've been solid. I mean, I'm a big Sean McVay guy, but I don't know. Maybe I just have Patrick Mahomes in my blood, but I think the Chiefs should be a little bit higher. And then the Packers, I don't know. Like I said, when you first popped up on his top 10 before we started the show, I wasn't expecting to have to scroll that far down. Green Bay. The rest of his list, though, I can agree with it. I mean, especially when he has the Broncos at 9. Think about some of the ways they've lost games. No teams that are serious about championships don't lose the way the Broncos have lost this year, whether it's a penalty on that last-second field goal or a mental breakdown or letting the Giants score as many points as they did. So, yeah, but my biggest thing would be the Rams. I think that's too high in my opinion. But that's why it's Mike's top 10.
All right. What about you, Darrell?
Well, I feel like I got to defend my boys just a little bit. I just a little bit, but I do kind of understand his logic here. So my thing with Green Bay is the youngest team in football, and they've been the youngest team in football for a couple of years now. My biggest thing is sometimes that youngness shows up and shows out. And we saw that in the Browns game. And we saw that a little bit in the Cowboys game when you have a 2-touchdown lead and then you let the Cowboys come back. You see a veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott and that team kind of just do what they needed to do. And then both defenses said, well, we're not playing football today. And so I understand it, but I don't think they're 10. I would probably, if I would feel a little bit better, maybe if you had them at like 6 and I'd be like, all right, I deal with that. 10 is a little rough for me though. I don't know if I can do 10. And so I know the Rams take is a little bit of a tough one, but I personally picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. I don't know why. I just did. I had the Rams and I think I had the Rams and the Ravens. But I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl last year, and they almost made me look like, a semi-genius at one point, but then they decided to lose that game to Philly. So, yeah, I'm not too much hated here. But, my boys, a little bit higher. 10 is a little bit rough, though. 10 is a little bit rough.
Me and you have something in common here because I picked the Rams to also go to the Super Bowl this year. So
I'm not crazy here.
We're picking the right team, which means that's probably giving away where we're putting the Rams in our ranking. But let's put yours up, and now we'll have Darrell break his down.
All right, so I'll go 10 and I'll go 10 and up. So look, I like the Seahawks team. I got the Seahawks at 10. Mike McDonald has done a really good job of turning this franchise into his own franchise. He got a lot of grief in the beginning because he took the pictures off the wall and people were like, why would you do that? He's trying to build his own thing there. And now we know how good Mike McDonald is because we see what the Ravens defense looks like right now without him. And so, when he was coming out and he was a big head coaching candidate, that's who I wanted to watch in the Commanders select. No hate against DQ. Love DQ. DQ's a great guy, but that was my initial pick. And now he's showing the reason why I thought that he would be a really good candidate for Washington. He's got a really good thing going on there with the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, who should still be in Minnesota. Minnesota, you messed that up. That's the second time. You did it the first time with Case Keenum. You messed up this time. So I got the Seahawks at 10. I got the Patriots coming in at number 9. I also agree with Mike. I don't think they really played anybody yet. And they did lose to the Raiders. That alone is something that you gotta kind of watch out for. But what I do like is they did beat the Bills, and the Bills obviously one of the top teams in the NFL, and they did it in impressive, tough fashion. So I like what I see from them, and they can only go up from here. They remind me a lot of Washington from last year, where they had a little bit of an easier schedule. They're taking full advantage of it, and they're ahead of schedule. So I got the Patriots at 9. At 8, I have the Rams. I want to put the Rams higher, but they're still kind of figuring everything out. And yes, I did pick the Rams to go to the Super Bowl, but I like what they have offensively. You got Puka, you got Devontae, you got Kyron Williams, you got the vet in Stafford. As long as Stafford is healthy, he's going to give you a chance. They got a good young defense with Verse, guys like Quentin Lake. I like what they have there in LA. So it's only a matter of time, I think, before they maybe go a little bit higher. At 7, I got the Denver Broncos because there's something about that young defense that makes me smile. And I think that game against the Colts, I think that was just a little bit of coaching mismanagement in the end. I think they had a chance to win that game, and the Colts did what they needed to do to get the win. So you can only beat the team that's put in front of you, and that's kind of how I like to for the most part, do my power rankings. But I like the Broncos. I like what Bo Nix is doing. I got them at 7. At 6, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills coming off those 2 losses, good to get a nice win against Carolina, but that is Carolina. And so they really got a tough one this week when they take on the Chiefs. But, they beat the Chiefs during the regular season every year, lose to them in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. At number 5, I got the Detroit Lions. Now, yes, I have the Lions below the Packers, but to me, the Lions have played better football since they lost that game to Green Bay in Green Bay. I think the Lions were still trying to figure things out, but I'm going to at least give Green Bay the advantage because they did get the win in that one. But I think by the end of the season, we could see the Lions be the team that is atop the NFC North. At 4, as they call them, the fighting Baker Mayfields. I don't know what it is about this Tampa Bay team that makes them special. I would have liked to see them beat the Lions. And yes, I do have them above the Lions, and it's because I just there's something about Baker Mayfield that really makes me say, you know what, I think this team is going to do some damage and continue to be better as they go throughout the season. At number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not the same team from last year. Saquon struggled a little bit. They're still trying to get him, back to where he is. He did have that 60-yard run. I believe it was last week against the Giants. So he's kind of getting there. But I got the Eagles at 3. I'm trying to give the champs some type of respect. And then at number 2, I got the Packers. Yes, the Browns lost. Not pretty. The Dallas tie, definitely not pretty. I said to my friend, I wish that they had rather lost the game than them to actually tie that football game. Now, statistically, it's helping us out right now because technically that makes them the number 1 seed in the NFC. The one thing about this team that I really like is what I saw in the second half against Pittsburgh. You give me that Packers team consistently, they're going to be one hard football team to beat. And number 1, the Indianapolis Colts. They deserve it. They've beaten everybody pretty much put in front of them except the Rams. And even though I think that the Colts haven't really had a, big time schedule, but they have beaten the teams that have been put in front of them, minus the Rams. And shout out to Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor is killing it this year. So the Colts are my number 1.
All right. I like it. All right, Mike, what don't you like about this top 10?
Well, I don't like that he didn't mention that, Jonathan Taylor had 1,400 yards last year, the quietest 1,400 yards in NFL history. But,
man, I don't run the AFC South,
man. Yeah, I know, man. But, I got to throw it in there. This is my expertise. But, as far as the Packers, I can't put them that high losing to the Browns. I just can't do it. And no, especially losing to the Browns. Did they lose to them in the Boo Boo Brown uniforms too? If they did, that just gets them another loss. So I'm just like, come on, man. As far as just the Seahawks, I can get that one. I kind of went back and forth on who I wanted to put at 10. Because I could have put Green Bay higher and then put Seattle in there. So I totally get that one. As far as Tampa Bay, can't put them above. But you put them above Detroit, right?
I did.
Yeah, I can't do that, because I like the fighting Baker Mayfield, but he throwing it, like I said, he's throwing to me, you, your mama, and your cousin too. Detroit, that defense is a little bit more solid to me than Tampa Bay's defense because I just can't depend on one pass rusher in terms of Tampa Bay. I can definitely depend on the pass rusher that's there in Detroit for sure. The highly paid pass rusher in Detroit, by the way.
$180 million man.
Ooh. Yeah. He owes me some money, so I'll be looking for that check. So, but as far as the rest of the list, Broncos, I can't put them above the Rams, because the Broncos just pulling miracles out there behind. Let's just call it what it is. So, and then plus, I do love that you did say, you started to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish it for you. Coaching malpractice. Yes, coaching malpractice. You started to say it, but I was like, let me go ahead and finish it for you. And anytime coaching malpractice is mentioned when it comes to Sean Payton, that does make me chuckle just a little bit, especially how he was out there hollering and hooting and hollering at Russell Wilson and then trying to keep coming at him like Russell Wilson wasn't going to say nothing, but he did. So, that's my thoughts on your top 10, man. But, hey, good list, man.
All right, what about you, Joe?
I think the list is solid. I mean, obviously, I think the Packers are a top 5 team. I don't think number 2. But I definitely agree with him and Mike, and you'll see it when I drop my list about the Colts. Definitely, the Colts remind me of last year's Washington Commanders. Lucky bounces, opponents, and not letting them back into the games, getting those W's and stacking them up so that if they do sometime during this season get an injury bug or hit a little bit of lull, you got those 4 or 5 wins already stacked up. It's going to help you when it comes to a playoff race. And I think if the Colts are able to get a home playoff game, Jonathan Taylor on the carpet is a bad, bad man. And they got a really, really underrated wide receiver corps in Indianapolis and the defense as well. But besides that, I think this is solid. I can get down with it. Nothing crazy or outrageous.
Yeah, I feel like my list looks very similar to this because, except for the Rams, but that's just because I picked them to put in the Super Bowl. If I put them any lower, it's like I'm a fraud to myself.
Can't do that.
All right. I think so far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think Mike's is the most controversial-ish, just putting the Packers so low, but he said too. The Rams higher. I don't know.
You got to take your wins where you can get them, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, dare to be different. That is the theme of my list. Dare to be different.
I like it.
I definitely feel like yours is different. All right, we're gonna go to a quick break. Then we're gonna take me and Joe's lists and compare, and then we'll talk about the bottom 5 teams in the NFL from one of you guys, which one I like the most. So we will be right back.
In 2006, we founded Yeti Coolers with a simple mission: build the cooler we use every day if it existed. One that was built for the serious outdoor enthusiasts rather than for mass discount retailers. One that could take the abuse we knew we'd put it through, out in the field and on the water. One that simply wouldn't break. We decided early on that production innovation would come from necessity and first-hand experience, not from market research and data analysis. Today, Yeti products perform when it matters most. Whether that be an excursion into the remote Alaskan wilderness, chasing redfish on the Gold Coast, or just getting together with friends in the backyard, we make gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. #
Every week, NFL teams battle for a victory. The members of the Round Table battle to rank the top 10 teams in the NFL. Guests bring their arguments and defend their top 10. Hosted by Thomas Brown, this is the Rankings Round Table.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. And I'm really tripping today because I played the wrong intro too. But whatever. It's the Thomas Brown. I'm telling you, this is not usually my show.
It happens to the best of us.
I'm like, this is the one. Anyways, whatever. Nobody knows except now all 25. All right, Joe, you're up. And I think you're muted, so let's see your list.
You told on yourself there, Ashmere.
I know, but it said Thomas. Everybody knows I'm not Thomas. Oops, sorry, wrong one.
Oh, I was waiting patiently.
No.
All right, so I'm going to go from 10 all the way back up to number 1 with my list.
There you go.
So number 10, I got the Buccaneers. I just think that I'm with everybody else. There's something about Baker Mayfield, the chip on his shoulder, always fighting for his guys. But I also think the injuries and the schedule might get the best of him. So I got the Buccaneers at 10. Is there a hotter team in football than the New England Patriots right now? Drake May is definitely making them look like they made the right choice at quarterback. And again, it might sound corny, people say all the time, but that's another one of those teams that wherever you put in front of them, they're doing what they got to do to leave with that W. I'm definitely not saying this is an AFC championship contending team right now, but they're getting the job done. I will always have the Rams in the top 10 because I'm a big Matthew Stafford fan. I think that guy will be 60 years old and still can hit you on a 15-yard slant as long as you get your hands up in the air. They're going through some injuries as well. But the defense is young. I mean, unless you're really a hardcore Rams fan, besides their edge rusher, a lot of people can't name a single guy in their defense. But I tell you what, the guys in their defense ball out. I got the Broncos number 7. I'm just that Sean Payton, I think he might cost them a game or two of some of his decisions during the season. It's still early. There's a lot of football left to play. I think Bo Nix needs to get a little more consistent. I got Buffalo at 6. I think that Ed Oliver injury, he's out for the season, I heard. Only chance he could play is if they make it to the Super Bowl or maybe the AFC Championship game. That's a big loss. There's not run-stopping D tackles just sitting on the couch watching our show right now. So how they make up for that injury, I'm never sure that's going to work for Buffalo. I got the Packers at 5. I think the team you see now for Green Bay is not the team you're going to see at the end of the season. What I mean by that is they're going to get better. I think that Jordan Love is still getting comfortable with a very talented wide receiver core. They got a young defense that every week somebody new on the defense is stepping up and making a key play or doing something to help them win. So I think Green Bay is only going to get better. I got Detroit at number 4. The running back duo, man, Sonic and Knuckles just getting it done. Jared Goff, when he has protection, has a talented wide receiver and tight end room he can work with. I got the Eagles at 3. I think that you got to respect the champs. Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley, we saw him get that long run, but we also saw him wincing with a hamstring injury. And if you played sports, you know how hammies go. All it takes is that one run, unfortunately, that one cut you do a little bit too hard, and that could be the end of that. I definitely don't wish ill will on the guy. Just something to keep an eye on if you're an Eagles fan. And A.J. Brown saga, another episode of As the World Turns up there in Philly with him. I have the Colts at 2. And the reason why I have them at 2 is because of what everybody else is talking about. Who have they played? I definitely understand you have to play who's in front of you, but what tough game has the Colts played where they have to gut it out, show their mental fortitude and win? So I have them at 2. And the reason why I have the Chiefs at number 1 for this week is because once they got Rice back on the field, that's the same offense I used to see back in the past. But between the jet sweeps, the shovel passes, Travis Kelce has finally started to show that he can still play football and has a couple big plays left in him. Steve Spagnuolo will have that defense with the bend don't break. And Chris Jones might be old, but Chris Jones can still get the job done. So for this week, just based on what I saw last week and the weeks prior, I got Kansas City at number 1. If the Colts had some kind of gritty, big win over a team, I would definitely put them at number 1. But I have to go with Kansas City because my list is basically what have you done for me lately? Completely eye test based list. So I go Kansas City number 1.
Well, everyone knows what I'm going to say first, but I'm going to let the guests go first. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Joe, now I know you like the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have lost to the Jaguars. And the Colts have beaten a team that's in your top 10, which is the Broncos. So, if you want to put that there. But I can't put the Colts below the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. I like what they're doing, but I can't put them at number 1 just yet. I do like Patrick Mahomes the second, but not enough to put him number 1. As far as just, can you put the list back up if you don't mind? This was kind of interested in one more thing here. All right. The Packers, man. I'm still going to say the Packers, man. I'm probably going to pick the Bell probably the rest of the show. But
Joe's got it in the decent spot. I can deal with that.
But yeah, hey, top 5, I give them that. But, they got to consistently play better. They got to consistently play better. And that bothers me about them. Now, the Buccaneers, I would like to see them higher because they've overcome a lot of different things and still played well. So, I would put the Buccaneers higher, wouldn't have the Packers as high, but that for me, I'm the guy that had the Packers at 10 with 1 loss and 1 tie. I guess I'm just that special guy. But yeah, other than that, I'm good with the rest of the list.
Well, I'll tell you this. I can deal with the Chiefs being number 1 because, on Monday night, I got a chance to see a team that, and obviously Washington is struggling a little bit, but I saw a team that felt like they weren't even trying to their fullest, and they still won by 3 touchdowns. And it's, to me, it's getting scary. It's getting scary. Like this week will be a tall tale sign that, how they play against Buffalo. But I really like what I'm starting to see from them. So I can definitely deal with that being the case. The Buccaneers being at 10, I mean, I get it. I don't, for me, I don't think I can put them anything below like 8. But I can see why you would have done 10. I mean, they got some injuries right now. Mike Evans banged up. They did beat the Saints this week, but it was a little bit, it wasn't like impressive. So, and they are coming off that loss to the Lions. So it's one of those things where, for the most part, I can deal with the list. I like the list. But I understand completely why you went with the Chiefs at number 1.
I'm not the only one.
If you know me, you know I'm not gonna agree with the Chiefs at number 1.
You live a tough life, right? You live a tough life as a Raiders fan, so I can respect that.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're not in the top 10. Okay, but the Chiefs are showing signs of good games, so they get a spot in the top 10. I'm with you, but number 1, all these other teams, I low key feel like actually I'm gonna say I feel like any one of these teams could beat the Chiefs right now. So that doesn't deserve a top 1 spot just for me, because I could see it's going to the end with the Bucks, with the Bills, with the Packers, with the Lions, with the Eagles, right? Like Jonathan Taylor could dominate that Chiefs defense. And there's just a lot of people. The Broncos will make you go to overtime and make it all crazy. I just think all of these teams have the ability to really fight to the end. But the Chiefs defense, I don't know if they can maintain what these offenses are running on right now. So that's just my opinion. So that's why I wouldn't put them number 1. But having them in your top 10.
Prove me right on Sunday.
I don't know if they lose to Josh Allen.
Yeah, they'll be number 9 next week on my list.
Now, I will say the Colts do play the Chiefs this year, so that game is still coming.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a great point, because we'll see. Like that's like their true matchup, which is what everybody's talking about. They're not playing like this.
Both teams too,
yeah. All right, Joe. Mine's pretty basic. Now that I've seen it, I'm like, it's pretty basic. So I'm obviously putting the Colts number 1. I'll start at number 1.
Rams.
And the Colts, I know it's crazy. It's not that crazy. I put the Colts number 1 because
I thought I was crazy putting the Rams at 3.
No.
Let her go through a list.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're cool. You're cool. The Colts only lost to the Rams, so technically they could be there. They deserve that number 2 spot. The Colts are with Jonathan Taylor 1-1. They are just dominating the league. I think the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. I'll repeat it again. So that's why I got them at number 2, because they're going to make waves. They got the bye. Puka Nacua is going to heal. Like, this team is too competitive, right? Kyron Williams, too many things. And I know the Packers, I feel like I put them kind of high, but I think that Jordan Love and the offense figure it out game in and game out. And the Eagles maybe having Saquon injured, I put them at 4 for that reason, because the running game is what they've depended on. It's what everybody's crying about, the fact that the ball's not getting thrown quickly enough. So if that stays true, then the Eagles will have, they'll still have the ability to beat teams, but, beating the Giants after they blew you out a couple weeks ago, that doesn't, you're doing good. You're doing what you're supposed to do, right? The Lions are one of the scariest offensive teams, but I just think the top 4 could beat the Lions. That's why I put them at number 5. Buffalo, they're good, but confusing, right? Like, losing to the Patriots was a fluke. I think it was it's given a gimme game, but the Patriots said, give it to me, and they took it. And I like how Mike said that the Bucks, Baker Mayfield figures out how to throw it to everybody in the world, because that's the key to success here. When they get Egbuka back, I think the Bucks slowly, the defense figures it out, and they'll bring them higher in this rankings. The Broncos, I really didn't like putting them in the top 10 to be so thrilled, but they're winning games, and that's what puts you in the top 10. You are able to figure it out when the time runs out, and you get the W at the end. So the Broncos offense, Bo Nix is used to playing this crazy football coming from Oregon, and I feel like that's what's working. The part that's not working, which all 3 of you have touched on, is the Sean Payton situation. And the same with Bo Nix. I mean, for Drake May, he's doing really well with the Patriots. You're getting an offense that they've been looking forward to. The receivers are coming through. He's sharing the ball a little bit better. It's not like a Hunter Henry or bust. Now it's like everybody's getting a little bit of a piece. And the Chiefs, with, just like Joe said, getting back their top receiver, are contenders, right? So that's why they're 10th in my list. They deserve a spot because they won 3 straight. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And of course, we've seen the Chiefs at this point where they could just turn the whole league around and dominate. So they deserve a spot on the top 10. All right, now you can roast me.
Oh no,
I'll let the guest go first with the roasting.
I'm not gonna do that.
No, go ahead.
I'm not gonna roast you. No, I'm not. But as far as the Chiefs, hey, I totally get why you put the Chiefs down there. After all, they did lose to the Jaguars on Monday Night Football. I know plenty watched that. As far as the Rams, I'm sorry. They plenty watched that and then watched Trevor Lawrence fall down not once but twice and still get in the end zone while Chris Jones just didn't watch him. But as far as the Rams, I'm like, okay, cool. I like the Rams, just don't like the Rams at 2. But hey, the Rams are doing their thing, and then Puka Nacua trying to go for the triple crown and following Cooper Kupp's lead on that one. Interesting top 10. I get the Eagles and why the Eagles are where they are. The fighting Baker Mayfields. They will get actually Chris Godwin back, I would say, as well. So that'll be an interesting upgrade. Losing Mike Evans, get Godwin back. But I'm not going to be too upset at the top 10. But I do have I'm not going to get too upset at the top 10. I'm not going to get upset at all, to be honest. But I definitely get the Broncos and the Patriots thoughts for sure. Because the Broncos, I must say this, and Broncos fans are not going to like what I say, but Bo Nix. Every time I see him, I look at the Auburn Bo Nix. I don't see the Oregon Bo Nix. I'm sorry, and
Ouch.
I can't get over that. That's the Bo Nix that used to play at Auburn, and I keep thinking in my mind, like, eventually that Bo Nix is going to come back. And of course, he is like 27 years old, playing quarterback in like his second year. So, he's seen everything. He literally has seen everything before he got to the NFL. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I kind of shorted his age. I changed his birth certificate. He's 103. I'm sorry. He's 103 years old. But yeah, it just I can't get with the Broncos. Bo Nix. I can't get behind that being a winning top 10 team, even though I did pick him in my time, Bo Nix. But hey, that it is what it is, and that is the top 10, and the Packers are too high again.
Wait a minute, man. Look,
Man, I didn't know you were gonna come up here and just bash my man's team, the Pack all show.
One loss, man. One loss. Look.
Hey, well, I'm a 49ers fan, so what did you expect?
It all makes sense.
Yeah, look, man, 49ers fans be coming for me, so it's all good. It's all good.
Now I understand.
Well, I'll say this. I actually don't hate the Rams being at 2 because, like I said, I also picked them to go to the Super Bowl. The thing about this, the thing about it for me is if they can stay healthy and get clicking, I really do think maybe by the end of the season, that's something that we do see. The NFC West to me is probably the best division in the NFC easily, and maybe even have a contention for the best division in football. But both West teams, AFC and NFC, currently have 3 teams in the playoffs, and the playoffs were to start today. So it's just I can see it because they're going to beat up on each other. I like the Rams there. I really don't hate that. The other one, I would say, maybe I would put the Patriots maybe a smidge higher, but also I looked at the fact that they haven't really played anybody, and they are kind of in the boat, like I was saying, with that they kind of also remind me of the Commanders from last year, where they had a lower what's the word I want to use? They had a lower schedule, playing a third place schedule, and they're taking advantage of it. Drake May is where we saw maybe like what Jaden was last year right now. That's the vibe that I'm getting from it. So things are good. But overall, I like the top 10. So no hate on the Rams. No hate on the Rams.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I was trying to look again and see if there's anything I could poke holes at, but not really. I mean, I think that for the Buffalo Bills, if they lose this game to Kansas City coming up this Sunday, I think they fall to everybody's top 10, and people got to wonder, is it ever going to happen for them? I mean, all these, they always, usually the way it works is they beat the Chiefs in the regular season, they lose in the playoffs. But if they were to lose to the Chiefs this year, of all years, it was supposed to be their year, and Buffalo fans said this is the one where Josh Allen takes the momentum from the MVP trophy and takes them over the hump. I think losing to the Chiefs, even though it's early in the season, still will be a big blow to them. So I think that's a team that you can see out of a lot of people's top 10s. But that's really the only thing I have from that top 10 list. The rest of it, I think, is decent. I mean, the Rams at 2, I understand it, especially if you pick them to go to the Super Bowl. You have to have them in the top 5 at least, I think, to make your prediction at least be respectable. So I can get down with it. It's not crazy.
Yeah, Rams country. Let's ride. That's where I'm headed.
No, she didn't.
I'm not. If you're new here, and the entire AFC West, like you said, that one really stung me in my soul that they're in the top 10, but not the Raiders. All right, now that we're done with all of that, I think everybody really, we all had the same vibes going on. The Rams were really our main topic discussion, and the Packers, because I think they're the two teams that could go either way, especially the Packers, as we've all said. So now I'm going to pick the bottom 5 from you guys that I enjoyed the most. Would say the stinky 5. All right, they suck because these teams are fairly bad, and this was hard to pick because the two guests, you guys had basically different versions of what I would have done. So I was trying to pick whichever one made the most sense. But I ended up picking Mike's because I think the way that this is stacked, it makes the most sense. And it's got the Raiders on it. Honestly, you both had the Raiders on it, and they deserve to be here. If you get blown out on national television, you stinky, bro. You suck. You cannot be doing that. So, Mike, please share your bottom 5 and why you think they are the stinky ones.
Well, the Browns, they not only were stinky, but they did wear a uniform that kind of portrayed stinkiness and wearing, all brown uniforms.
Browns.
But, well, there's only one way they're going to the Super Bowl, and we're not going to mention that on the air today. As far as the Browns, yeah, I had to put them there. I mean, they're just they're hard to watch. They're hard to watch. Defensively, Myles Garrett, but it's Myles Garrett in them. It's almost like last night in the Pips, but defensively. So, as far as that, yeah, that's what I get with them.
Hilarious.
The Raiders, I mean, I think Geno is a secret agent out there. I think Geno Smith is. I mean, honestly, because I watched the first game on Monday Night Football, and he literally was throwing it right to the other team. I'm like, hold on, man. I'm like, hold on, guy. You got some money under the table or something. I know that's not a good joke to tell right now. And he's tired, but it just kind of, and he is in Las Vegas too. So, and it's like, what's going on here? And defensively, I mean, honestly, could I tell you, besides Adam Butler, which I know him because he went to Vanderbilt, other than that, I can't really tell you a whole bunch of players on their defense. I really can't. But, as far as the Saints, I don't know what to say about the Saints. Now they got Tyler Show, a 26-year-old rookie, to go out there and save them.
Your favorite age group.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Ain't no saving there, brother. Ain't no saving there.
It's so bad.
If that, I would say, their Kindred City, has a song by Project Pat that says, "Don't save them; they don't want to be saved," and that is the New Orleans Saints. As far as the Jets, hey, I got to give the Jets some credit. They actually won a game. They do have a former Tennessee Titan there, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., which I did like talking to him and covering him. But the Jets, the Jets are the Jets. I just gotta say the Jets are the Jets. Everybody knows what that means when I say the Jets are the Jets. That's all I can say. As far as number 1 or the lowest team in the league, I actually covered this team, and that is the Tennessee Titans. So I'm literally at every home game, watching them in the booth, talking to the players, things like that. Now, I will say I will say this team has spurts where they look good and the young players look good, like a Cam Ward, like a Alec Iomanner, like a Gunnar Helm, like a Chim DK. But they have more times where they are not good or not solid on the football field. And their only win is one of the probably the most unexplainable wins you probably have ever seen in football. You've never seen where a guy picks off a pass, falls, fumbles, the guy tries to pick it up for Arizona, kicks it in the end zone, and a Titans player falls on it. You've never seen that happen ever in NFL football. Then, I mean, you honestly see a guy running into the end zone and he drops the ball before he scores. Nobody touched it. It may have looked like Jerry Sneed touched the ball, but he didn't touch the ball. The guy just dropped it. So all these different things happening for them to win the one game that they won. I will say this team, by the time they get into their new stadium in 2027, they will be a team that's competing for a playoff spot. You can basically tape this and run that back at that time. But right now, they're still trying to figure out a few things. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is the best thing going on this team. But the thing is, he's hurt right now, one, with a hamstring issue. And secondly, nobody would know he's the best defensive tackle in the NFL right now, or playing the best of any defensive tackle in the NFL because of the record the Tennessee Titans have. And of course, Chim DK is leading the league in return yards. I know some people will say, the biggest thing people will say is because, hey, he's returning kicks a lot. But the thing is, that team still is, he still does have a special skill as a return man, which I honestly did not see him getting drafted above Alec Iomanner, but it did happen. But I don't want to go too hard on the hometown team since I do live here. But I will say, it has been rough at times watching the team, but I do see some positives in this team despite the poorest overall play.
I mean, I see more positives in the Titans than in the Raiders.
Yeah, I can't name a young wide receiver. I just can be like, okay, I can't. I will say there is a guy from Tennessee, from UT Vols. I think if he could actually get more burn, maybe. But that's Thornton, and he's a big guy that can run. But I don't know how they're. I'm looking at them and I'm like, how are you using him? You're not really using him to his full capability. And then also, there's an issue when it comes to Tennessee Vols wide receivers when it comes to the NFL, because the way their offense runs in college, they spread out people wide and do different things like that. And they run a lot of go routes and in routes, but they don't run a big route tree. And that's kind of one of the issues with wide receivers from Tennessee when they hit the NFL, especially in New York with the Giants and Jalen Hyatt. That's probably been a big thing that people have talked about with him.
I forgot he played for the Giants. He just disappeared. He was dominant in college.
Yeah, he was dominant for a reason because they kind of schemed it that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he was just big boying everybody. No.
All right. I think this is a very good stinky bottom five. That's why I picked it. And I think even though the Jets got one win, what does that really mean? Right? You're playing the Bengals.
It means the Bengals are being the Bengals. That's what that means.
Yeah, it's like the Jets, like the same tagline for each team. The Jets are being the Jets, and the Bengals are being the Bengals. I think that's what moved them from 1 to 2 in everybody else's rankings, that they got one win.
One thing I could say though is all these teams that are in the bottom five, the one team that does have young talent that has the possibility of getting better in terms of climbing out of the basement in all these five is the Titans.
For sure. I agree. I definitely agree.
Well, offensively, at least. I would say defensively, you're still trying to figure out a few things. Still don't have a pass rush consistently off the edge. Still don't have dependable corners in terms of young corners. And Jerry Sneed hasn't stayed healthy. And then at the safety position, I will say I do like Amani Hooker. He shares the same name as my daughter, Amani. So, hey, I got to always show love to that guy. That guy's always cool.
Well, since we have you here and the trade deadline is near, I feel like this is the question I should ask. Do you see the Titans making any trades, or if they could, what is something that you think they should target before the trade deadline?
Well, I will say this. They're not targeting anybody. They're probably more sellers than buyers. But they did actually trade Roger McCreary to the Los Angeles Rams, so he's their new slot corner. That did happen. a lot of people have said about or put out things talking about Jeffrey Simmons, things like that. Jeffrey Simmons is not for sale, as according to the Titans, he's not for sale. So I don't see him going anywhere. Now, could I see Chig Okonkwo going somewhere? Yes, potentially, because I believe he's a free agent after this year. Very athletic, talented tight end. Just I don't know if they're getting maximized to get use here, or they may be wanting to move towards a Gunnar Helm to be the starting tight end. But they both start together anyway. But they might move another tight end in there and just call it a day. I'd say defensively, looking at Arden Key's another name people have mentioned, but he's out right now with a quadriceps injury. So if he gets traded, people know he's getting traded with a quadriceps injury. So, that's another one. Other than that, I don't think a Calvin Ridley gets traded. I don't think L'Jarius Sneed gets traded. L'Jarius Sneed's injured. Calvin Ridley's injured with a hamstring issue right now. Him and Jeffrey Simmons. So, I think those are more off-season decisions that happen. But those are the guys I can think of. Chig, Arden Key. See if I can think of anybody else. That's about all I can think of. I mean, because Tyler Lockett, he decided he wanted to not play for a team that was losing to sign to a team that is losing. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Losing a little bit less.
Losing a little bit less. Try to get that ring, sir.
Too funny.
Yeah. Tyler Lockett's a mystery. That we'll
maybe he wanted to roll the dice on a team making a run like the Raiders. I know that's a cheesy Las Vegas joke. I know.
Didn't land.
I was like, I don't think so. I think that's the wrong team that you think you're going to make a run with. All right, everyone. Thank you for sharing your top 10 and being a part of the show. This has been fun. If anyone else is interested, they think they know ball, you can come on the show too. We'll give everyone a shot at seeing who their top 10 teams are. We all are pretty much similar. I think in this show today, we've got the same idea. But I want to thank both of you, Darrell, Mike, of course, Joe. See you Sunday. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope you're having a fabulous evening. And be sure to like, comment, follow Team NBS Media on all social platforms for more shows like this. And I will see you Sunday for Moving the Chains.